Hi, I'm John Taschek. I graduated in JMU in 1986 with a degree in Communications and English. It's a funny thing about written speeches versus spoken speeches. They're often at odds with each other. If I were there, and I wish I were, I'd probably try to interject some humor because nothing beats potentially weak content than a joke. So please put up with me for now. It may be awkward, but my intentions are 100% on your side. I first want to say, sincerely thank everyone at JMU, the faculty, the entire School of Communication, to every student, everyone who sees or reads this. I thank everyone for giving me such a fantastic opportunity for developing a seemingly lost skill, critical thinking. That alone has helped me personally and professionally. It doesn't seem that long ago that I was a student at JMU. I'm sure you've had the feeling before that something in your life has happened was a lot longer ago than you realized. Well, that feeling intensifies and time seems to blur, as if the days move by very quickly and the years very slowly, and then the reverse happens and you have a strange sense of deja vu. It's during these times that you think you could be a Hollywood screenwriter, you have enough content for it, or write sound bites for any of the flamboyant political candidates out there. Well, I graduated in 1986, as I said, and now I have 3 children. I've lived in California and San Francisco, to be specific, for the last 24 years, which still amazes me since I thought it wouldn't stay more than 3 years. But times change, and so do people. And time blurs, and it seems like it was just a year ago or so that I did live in Virginia, and the world of technology and communications was more in its infancy than it was today. The interesting thing about technology is that there are two core philosophical views about it. The first is that computers are made for rapid calculations. And you can see that every day with using a calculator on your computer. The second, and the one I subscribe to, comes from Xerox PARC, the inventors of the original personal computer. They thought that the original PC was a communications device. And that's what I subscribe to. I am sure that all the technology out there has something to do with communication. And that thought also inspired 2 great American companies, Apple and Microsoft. It's still true today. Anyone with an iPhone is most likely communicating with someone else. Anyone who uses Facebook, Snapchat, Venmo, Twitter, LinkedIn, or even some of the trivial games out there, they're probably using that for communication. And often that communication and technology can be used to overcome geographical distance. So it's amazing and fortunate that I believed this passionately enough at the time to get deeply involved in the technology industry, even though I had no idea when I graduated what I'd end up doing. I thought that the pinnacle of my career would be to write for a magazine or produce broadcast media. If I could possibly shed a tiny sliver of what the workplace is like in the hopes I can say something that will inspire you to succeed beyond your wildest dreams, I realize that your attention has already drifted away and you may be able to Google more advice from the world's knowledge base, but what Google can't give you is the validation that you already have everything that you need to be great. And hopefully here's one more thing. Communication in any form has 3 primal qualities: urgency, passion, and efficiency. Many of you are going to ask yourself the question of what to do when you want to grow up. What you want to be when you grow up. I hope that never changes because it keeps you aspirational and inspires you to think of what else you can do. Communications in each of the disciplines as a major can be a challenging choice. Everyone feels that they have the ability to communicate in some way. But there are so many facets. How do you do it? Why do some communications work and some not? What is the medium behind the communications? Forget all that. In the workplace, there are actually very few people who can communicate effectively, and each of you already has a significant advantage. And by the way, the tech world has continued to innovate, and it's going to make communications majors and each of you more important. And the reason is bots, artificial intelligence or AI, deep learning, machine learning, whatever you want to call it, it's going to wipe out part of the fabric of the current workplace. It's just going to happen. It always happens. And therefore, you have to be able to adapt. You have to fail fast and fix often in your career. It's okay to fail. It's probably not even just okay. It's probably necessary. There is no more status quo. This was true even when I graduated, but to a lesser degree. It was communications that got me into my first job. It was communications that led me to my second one. It was the failure of my second company that I worked at to get into more pure technology. And it was communications that led me to write for a magazine. And then it was communications that led me to do what I do now. And there's nothing in my work title that indicates anything to do with communications. If you look, it says something like market strategy. But strategy fundamentally is communications. And that's what I've made it. So let me get back to urgency, passion, and efficiency. Urgency is actually is 100% passion. In communications, your job is to create a sense of urgency. Without urgency, there's no action, and what fuels the urgency is your passion. I've found that many people don't really have passion. They kind of go through life, ambling along the way. The main reason they don't have the passion is they don't ask themselves why they're doing what they're doing. Why matters. The question of why defines or elaborates on passion. And urgency without passion, more or less, is desperation. Don't be desperate. You have everything you need to succeed. And on efficiency, although there's a certain sense of irony that I've taken so long to get to this, efficiency in communications is a key building block. People who tend to not know about subjects tend to overwrite, and their verbosity inhibits their effective communications. I know JMU has helped you already. I am sure of it. The professors, the student body, the buildings themselves, the history, the location, and the access to all of these resources has already made you successful, whether you realize it or not. I didn't realize it for 20 years, I'm sure, but I realize it every day now. I thank my professors at JMU almost every day, and that's why I try to give back, not just to JMU, but to society. And I've made philanthropy part of my professional life. It helps to define my sense of why. I also want to thank Eric and everyone at the SCOM event. I try to visit every year, but I could not make it this year, and I apologize. I'm not entirely convinced that I am a distinguished alum, but I will work to make sure that I will support, amplify, and help all parts of JMU, particularly the School of Communications, and especially each of you. Thank you very much.